Before we begin, let me just say a few words about the project. Just like in other projects, CSS is already prepared for you. That way we can focus only on JavaScript. So essentially only on the functionality. I also created all the files and imports for you, including placeholders for our exports. So that way we can spend more time on creating interesting functionality instead of redundantly retyping import and export statements, as well as creating files. We already have done quite a few projects together. So I think at some point it is not useful for you to watch how I create a file and set up the import statement and also type it along. Now, the placeholders for the exports and imports were necessary because otherwise empty imports would throw errors. I also purposely did not add payment processor to the project because I find it to be an overkill for vanilla JavaScript app. While there are many opinions out there, I strongly believe that while it's cool to build a small apps with vanilla.js, at some point as your project gets bigger, it is wise to switch to a framework. That's the whole point why they were creating it in the first place, to make your life easier as you need to start juggling many things at the same time. So for example, in my React course, we do have similar e-commerce project, but with more functionality, with pagination, with more filters, with payment processor by the name of Stripe, sign up, login, logout functionality, and etc. Because making such a big store is still manageable with a framework, in this case, React. Can you do it in vanilla.js? Yes. But in my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt, you will get bored and frustrated sooner than you can imagine. Now that leads me to a last point. Be prepared to get frustrated while working on this project. Since project is so big and entails a lot of moving pieces, it will take some time to finish it. And you will face some challenges along the way. Some of the challenges will be boring, since all the big projects contain some repetition, and some of the challenges will be just tackling multiple tasks and wrapping your head around those tasks at the same time. Now, I wish I could give you a more helpful answer, but unfortunately, that's just the way it is with big projects. There's nothing I can do about it. I also would want to mention that we will start off somewhat slow because I would want all of us to be on the same page. As a side note, that's why most of the course projects are smaller. So you do get those instant wins. And this project was purposely added so you get a taste of what it's like to build something bigger. Where, yes, sometimes you are lost, sometimes you are confused, and you do spend some time, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, of going through the files and going through the code just to understand how everything works. That is okay. That is part of the process of growing and becoming better developer.